Yeah, so I think educating our clients, we didn't go to school to do that, but it is now more than ever essentially important to talk to our clients about product. You know, our clients statistically within 24 hours after getting a service done will leave our chair and will go somewhere else and buy product. Like it's hundreds of billions of dollars a year people spend on lipstick, eye makeup, hair conditioner, shampoo. Why wouldn't they take a recommendation from somebody that they know and trust? It's our duty. And so what ends up happening is I think we play that game in our heads about, their daughter's getting married or their dog's sick, and we get in their wallet and we try to make stories in our heads that prevent us from giving full service. I believed it, trust me. I have been in this business long enough that any mistake you've ever made or any success you've ever had, I've had it too. However, I also know the importance of the connection that recommending product gives. If my client leaves my chair without product, it's because they can't have it, not because they don't want it. They know the value of it. They know what it'll do for them. I never stop talking about the product. If they've never bought from me, ever, if I picked up that sculpture glaze and that illuminate shine to mix together to make the color lock system, I still tell them, remember, we're gonna put about a quarter's worth of the sculpting glaze, couple shots of that illuminate shine, emulsify it, put it through your hair. Don't forget to comb it through for even distribution. Now I know they haven't bought anything from me for 10 years, but I still owe them the same professionalism, the same service that I do for my client that purchases every time. So a couple things will happen with that. They will know that I'm a professional. They will know that I have a focus, that I have a belief system. They will know that I know what is best for their hair. They will also know that when they go home and they can't replicate and their hair is not as shiny, as voluminous, as beautiful, it's not because I didn't do my job. Because if somebody did my hair, if Leslie cut my hair and she did not tell me, how many products do you guys think that I used in my hair this morning when I got ready? 7. And I have what? 3 inches of hair. Now, if Leslie cut my hair and told me about those 7 products, told me what they did, how it was going to solve my problems, because I have 10-year-old boy hair, and what ends up happening is I go home and I think, and I wash my hair and it's not reacting the same. I'm like, well, okay, Leslie told me that I need shampoo, conditioner, and I won't blame Leslie. But say if I did Leslie's hair in the same manner and didn't tell her what to use, and she goes home and she can't replicate, she may think it's my skill set. She may say, oh, you know what, Tam does a good job of finishing my hair, but I don't know, maybe she's just not the best service person, maybe she's not the best hair cutter, maybe she's just not the best, they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. In fact, I would guess we get really comfortable in a salon setting because, how long have you been a stylist? A year. You're comfortable in a salon, right? You walk in a salon, you don't feel intimidated, correct? You don't feel intimidated. This is our home. This is our second home. Some of us is our first home. So what ends up happening is we take for granted that when people walk in the door that they feel the same way, but you know they're intimidated when they walk in the door. I mean, they could have a recommendation from another client for you too, but they're intimidated of sorts because they don't know what's going to happen. So if we can create a situation where we become a trusted individual for them, even if they're not purchasing, we owe it to them to explain to them, and we owe it to ourselves to explain to them what to use, when to use it, how to use it. Would we agree with that? Does that make sense? Have you ever thought about it that way before? Because I didn't, until I realized the power of retail equaling retention. Especially when you have a product like Euphora, I can't get it elsewhere, right? And so to them, it is like you're Buddha. Like you're bringing something to them that they can't get elsewhere that's going to work 4 times better than anything they've ever used and last twice as long. Because if you've done your job right and you've explained what it is, how to use it, and why it's going to help them, don't have to give the Gettysburg Address or something like that. You just have to say, This is Sculpture Glaze, and I always go back to that because it is my core. Sculpture Glaze, 85% pharmaceutical grade aloe vera. You don't even have to say pharmaceutical grade. You just have to say it's quality and quantity aloe vera to literally, if you have a burn, put it on your skin. Put it through your hair, comb it through. It'll it'll close your cuticle. You're gonna have shiny, voluminous, beautiful hair. That's all they need to know. What's in it for me? Like, why should I use it? Some clients want to know everything about it, correct? Like, what's this ingredient? What's in this ingredient? I'm never that person, but you darn well better know that I know everything that's in the products that I recommend. I know what it's in there. Good morning. I know what's in there. I know why it's beneficial to the client because I need to know more than them. I think it was Albert Einstein once said, you must know something complete in its complexity to be able to explain it simply. Does that make sense? So we have to do our studying. Like if we have downtime, we have to know what's in the products that we sell. We have to know why it's good. We have to practice with our teammates, maybe role play some conversations or some doubts that clients would have so that we have an answer for them to show that we are a trusted professional, that we're intelligent, and that we create a complete service for them. In a beautiful atmosphere like this, they're going to believe you because you are the trusted professional. You are the person that knows their hair best. My husband, who's an engineer, is funny because he helps me with my business. I should tell you that I have a salon in Corona, California. I've had it for 12 years. And so I built my salon on the philosophies, the systems, and the product of Euphora. So I was very lucky because we started like that. So the team that I have has come up with that thought process. So we're honing it all the time. Trust me, I would never tell you we're perfect. Our intention every day is to be perfect, but that would be silly. Because we have bad days, we have good days, we're human beings. So we're very fortunate in the fact that we have systems in place. Even on our worst day, we're giving our best service. Does that make sense? Because it's ingrained in us. So what ends up happening is if you are suggesting something they can't get elsewhere, you're very knowledgeable in it if they have questions, and if they're just the what's in it for me person, that's kind of fun too, because what ends up happening is they still look at you differently than they would look at 100 other hairstylists that they may know. I mean, this profession is filled with people who cut hair, filled with people who take care of people, but go that extra mile and literally connect them with product. I've seen it happen again. I did a whole webinar for the PBA called Retail Equals Retention. And it was an hour-long webinar on why that is actually true. It's a scientific fact that if people are trusting you enough, if you've given them enough education and information to solve their problems, they're not going anywhere else. If they're purchasing product from you, chances are they're not going anywhere else. Now, if somebody suggested, okay, Leslie suggests to me, 7 products I used on you today, Tam. And I go, okay, well, how about if I take 2? Like, what would you suggest for me? And then Leslie, because she knows the product so well, she knows my hair so well, will say, how about you start with the shampoo and conditioner? I would suggest like moisture intense beautifying elixirs and conditioner. And I think we'll start there. Remember, we use the Fortify, so you might want to add that to your arsenal next time because it is going to last a long time, so you're not going to have to worry about that. And I'm going to go, okay, that sounds great. And while I'm at it, I really like that wax that you finished at the end. Maybe I should take some of that too. So it's really about planting the seed. Or you can say, what would you like to take today? And they say, you know what, I really can't today. Say, that's awesome, no worries, I get it. If you get home and all of a sudden your hair is not as shiny or not as voluminous, whatever you're solving up, or not as curly, then why don't you, you can come back and I'll take like a piece of paper, or do we have the guest consultations here? Do you know? It's all right. It's okay. We have a guest consultation form you guys might want to consider, and Michael can help you with that. Michael and Tina can help you with that. That literally has a product. And so I'll take that and I'll write it down. All right, well, we use hydrating shampoo, we use a daily balance conditioner, you know, whatever we use to solve their problems, and I'll just hand it to them. So what ends up happening is that person is, you know, a lot of times what ends up happening is clients have a tendency to say no because people try to sell them stuff all the time. How many marketing calls do you get on your cell phone a day, Leslie? Like,
I do.
yeah. I mean, 2, 4, it's like, how did they get my number? I want to know. I like the day when people call your cell number is because they knew you, not because they wanted to sell you something. So they're at the baseball game, they're at the soccer game, and all of a sudden they look in their purse and they go, you know what? Is it Amy? Amy told me that my hair would look better if I used this shampoo, and I'm noticing that it's not. Let me see what's in there. And it gives a little explanation, and it's backing Amy up, backing Amy's recommendation up. And she closes it up. She goes, you know what? Next time I'm going to talk to Amy a little bit more about the shampoo. And so Amy, when she comes back in, Amy does the same thing. Remember we talked about this, that. It's going to solve this problem. Low key, nothing, too intense because nobody wants to feel like they're buying a used car. And we have to be authentic. I would never sell somebody to something that didn't help them. Like, I am not about selling ice cubes to Eskimos or whatever they said. I just see the difference when you're authentically solving a problem, how it changes lives. And I'm talking about your lives because it gets you more clients, it gets you more revenue, it changes the house. I always call the salon the house, right? Because we spend time here. Changes the house's life. It changes your client's life. And the bottom line is we're here to help people. And that was when I realized retail did equal retention because I was solving problems. And they'd come back. I had a lady buy the whole line just on the Illuminate Shine. Do you guys know the Illuminate Shine? Have you used it? Can I see it over here? It's probably this bottle. Do I know my product or what? So Illuminate Shine is a shine spray. And that's what it's meant to do. But it is probably one of the most versatile products that we own. I always say Euphora is skincare for hair and hair care for skin. And not that it would replace skincare in any circumstances, but that just speaks to its purity, its versatility, and its ability to really kind of knock your client's socks off. So this is a shine spray. It's 30% lighter than any shine spray out there. It does not have silicone in it. Silicone's heavy. Silicone is like you start spraying around your chair and all of a sudden you're slipping on tile. It's very slippery. It's actually liquefied PVC, which is plastic. What's in here to create shine is silica, and so that's ground up sand, so it's a very natural product. So what ends up happening is it can remove your makeup, like my eye makeup, this is it, every day, Q-tip, gone. Shine your shoes, it could be a shine spray, it can literally, you can spray it on your body, I've sprayed it on my face, it can mix with the sculpture glaze. Do you guys know that? You know that secret? You don't know that secret? Okay. You mix this with the sculpture glaze, it's a color lock system. Holds your color in your perming 30% longer. Scientifically proven. It's not magic again. The sculpture glaze has that 85% aloe that we talked about. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. Usually I have to dig through some of them. Sculpture glaze is 85% aloe. And what aloe does, we know what aloe does, right? It's healing. We have it in our backyards, or at least I do in California. And it is healing of burns, it's lightweight, it's moisture, but it doesn't weigh the hair down. So if you use about a quarter's worth of the sculpture glaze, with, depending on the hair, if I'm doing a doll head, like 5-6 shots, because doll head hair is usually really textury, 5-6 shots into the sculpture glaze, emulsify it in your hand, put it through your hair. It is what we call the color lock system. It is really scientifically proven, 30% longer. Now, is it magic? No. The properties in here of aloe will completely close down the cuticle of the hair. And we know that's how you keep color in, that's how you keep a perm in, is that cuticle is a protective layer. It's like bark on a tree, and if it's like not in good shape, it's wide open, right? So it doesn't reflect light. So this will close the cuticle down naturally. Light reflection, beautiful shine, our color looks better. You ever like blow somebody's hair dry and all of a sudden this color's popping because light reflects off of it. And there's something in here, we said there was silica in here, but the thing in here that creates that color lock system is something called squalene. And you guys, you get a go bonus if you can tell me what squalene is. Anybody know? It's kind of cool. It's the outer layer of an olive. Outer layer of an olive. So think of an olive like bacon in the Tuscan sun or the California sun, and yet you cut through an olive, you see moist flesh, firm, moist flesh. Well, in all theory, that olive should be a shriveled little raisin or a mass. So the amount and quality and quantity of aloe in here and this squalene in here closes it, seals it. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So the bottom line is these products, if you tell your client that, and I don't know how much, like it's $28, I have no clue. This is somewhere in between there. If you tell your client that this is 85% aloe vera gel in quality and quantity to make a difference in the texture and feeling and health of their hair, now it has value. If you just said, here's a bottle of gel, it's 28 bucks, they're going to go, no. Yeah, thank you. No, you'd be lucky if they said thank you. No, thank you, right? But if I tell you it's quality and quantity of aloe that's going to change the texture of your hair, there you go. It's a value. It's value. We all have a number in our heads, whether it's shoes or gel or shine spray, that we will pay for something. But it has to be of value to us. Because if it's not of value, why bother? It has to create a need in us to purchase. Because we all work hard for our money. I don't care if, you just have money coming out your ears. You want to keep some of it. You don't want to spend it on frivolous stuff. So if we're adding that value, chances are their interest is piqued. So I think, are we guys feeling a little bit better about retail? I always find this interesting when I go out and teach because it is one of the biggest fears of hairstylists. And yet, when done right, with the right product that performs the way you say it's going to perform, I see it changing salons. I see it changing lives. Clients and stylists alike. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. It's not easy to change that mindset of all of a sudden starting to recommend product. Because first of all, you have to believe in it. You have to see difference in your own. You have to create a situation where you are so excited about it that you have to tell people. Like you can't not tell people about it, which is where I'm at. I think you can feel that. And the bottom line is I feel that we owe it to our clients is essentially, I think, the best way to say it. We owe it to our clients. It's part of our service. And it is completely up to them. But they're never going to walk away after you give a great, I say presentation, but when you're behind the chair, it is almost like a presentation, right? Like we have to take control of this situation. We have to do amazing consultation. Because what happens in the consultation? We figure out what we're doing. Like it's a dangerous place to go to not do an amazing consultation. Like it's a super dangerous place to go because we can create something that we think is beautiful hair. But if that's not what they expected, well, these chairs are awesome. I have a cool chair. If we create something that they weren't expecting, it doesn't matter how beautiful we think it is. If they don't think it's beautiful, it's not good, right? We all have that feeling. Who stayed up all night thinking, oh my God, that person hated their hair and now I suck and I'm a terrible hairstylist and I don't ever want to do anybody's hair again? Been there, right? Been there. Like I'm lucky now. I mean, there's once in a while I'll be like, oh, could I have done better? But I think that's okay. Like don't beat yourself up for that. Even after 40 years, there's once in a while I'll go, maybe I shouldn't have gone that short with those bangs. Maybe that was a little aggressive, Tam. So don't expect that to ever go away, but I think we hedge our bets if we're confident stylists, we're recommending products that's solving their problems, and really creating a great consultation that incorporates speaking about product to them. And even if they don't buy it, I'm telling you, if my client walks out without it, again, it's not because they don't want it, it's because they can't have it. But I still do my job every time. I actually have clients, who do purchase from me. I'd say 80-20. But every time I give them the same service, the same education, and things change. Like I'll say, hey, it's summer. I think now we're going to probably go with the curl and defining because you're going to be using your curl. You're going to use wearing your hair curly a little bit more because you'll be swimming, whatever. So I think we need to switch you off of sculpture. You'll go to the curl-in line. We'll use the revitalizing and the curl-in foam. And they're like, okay, that sounds good. Because we forget, too, that our seasons change. And I know you guys have lots of seasons here, right? California, we have 1, 2, maybe, you know, hot and hotter. I have no clue. Dry and drier. But here you have seasons. So you really should be tailoring at least 2 to 3 times a year for their needs. And that's really kind of a given too. I mean, think about how much more professional we sound. Let's say, hey, summer's coming up. I really think we ought to, you know, explore maybe more moisture or more shine, or, you know, you're going to be swimming a lot. So perhaps we suggest the Urgent Repair shampoo, which is a detoxifying shampoo that'll remove chlorine and medications and things like that. So if we know our product well enough and we know our client well enough, heaven, like it's just heaven. It just creates this beautiful synergy that if they went somewhere else, they weren't going to get. They're not going to get. How many salons are on this street, like right here, this massive street? Guess. I mean, I don't know what it is. More than one? More than you guys? Are you the only salon on this street? Oh, I mean, on my street corner, I have 4 salons. On my street corner. Yeah? Yeah? How about in the town?
The town, there's got to be like, there's none.
So people have choices, is essentially, right? Well, in my street corner, people have 4 choices. And would you think, like you've only spent maybe 20 minutes with me right now or 25 minutes, do you think that I'm in competition with those salons, or do you feel like I'm like, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going is exactly right. Hey, how's it going? Rosemary and I wave across the way. She has a little roll and set salon. I feel like we have a like full service salon. There's a hair extension salon. We do hair extensions too, but that's their motivation. And then there's a little barber shop there. We also do barbering, but you know, it's everybody has their niche. And probably last year at one point, the little roll and set salon, their sinks went down and they come knocking on our door. Can we use your sinks? We have to rinse out our perms and rinse out our ladies. I'm like, come on, ladies, you know. Ladies come walking across the street and use our sinks. You know what? It was probably one of the funnest days we've had because they were thrilled. My clients were thrilled. Everybody felt like they were part of something like, yeah, let's just get it done, right? And so we were part of the hairdressing community on that day. So I invite them to come visit us at any point. But we're not in competition because I know whatever they do, we're doing something a little different. We're creating a situation where people come into the salon, and trust me, I'm not patting myself on the back because I think I'm great or I'm a great leader. I know my team's good. I'm patting myself on the back because I developed because of Euphora, because of their education, because of their product, because of their systems. Are they working, Michael, on the philosophy of systems of 8 steps to financial success? Are they familiar with that at all?
There's some new to it. They really aren't.
Okay, no, that's what I wanted to check on. So may I speak to that just a little bit?
By all means,
okay.
Yes, please.
So I didn't want to just throw that out there and assume that you knew what that was. So Don and Beth Bewley, who are the founder of Euphora 20 plus years ago, came up with a system. They had 5 really award-winning salons in Cleveland, Ohio. And Don Bewley, who is the founder, I'll tell you a little bit about him because he was my mentor. He has since passed about 4 years ago, one of the saddest days of my life. But why I loved him and why I followed him and why I was honored and blessed to be mentored by him, because he was a hairstylist who did exactly as I did. He had as many failures as he had successes. He was willing to talk about his failures because I don't trust anybody that won't talk about their failures as well as their successes. Like, to me, don't just tell me what you did right. Tell me what you did wrong, because first of all, that's human. Second of all, I can relate to, and it's integral. And third of all, nobody does everything right, period. So he was willing to share with me his successes, and I didn't have a salon at the time. And what he ended up doing was wanting to come up with a hair care line. He, at that point, was a celebrity stylist. He was a platform artist. He also had a reoccurring segment on Good Morning America. And I just tell you that he'd probably be embarrassed if he was here today with us because he didn't like to talk about those things. But I always tell you that because that's his credibility. Like, he had a lot of credibility. He was a peer to Vidal Sassoon. So he wasn't just a hairdresser who thought he would, you know, have a hair care line. And he developed the line for stylists, believe it or not, because the ingredient deck is immaculate, it's clean, it's healthy. And he just thought about stylists. He thought about clients too, but he really originally thought about stylists because every day, multiple times a day, we're breathing in the fumes, and we know that something goes into your body, it stays there for 48 hours, whether it's good for us or not good for us. So he wanted to develop something that keeps hairstylists healthy, and that was impressive to me. And so when I connected with them on the product line and then the education line, and then, I don't know, somehow they strong-armed me into being an educator. And I get to travel around, and it's a blessing, and it's fun because this is amazing. I sent my husband pictures because I think I was telling Kayla, that mine is more like farmhousey kind of decor, but I'm putting a chandelier somewhere. I just decided it'll go, right? It'll fit in. I kind of like that new with the old dichotomy anyway, so he needs to find me a chandelier. He's probably laughing right now in California. And so for me, the growth that came from connecting to a company in a system like the 8 Steps to Financial Success, now that sounds like a big fancy name. It sounds kind of boring, I won't lie to you, because when I say it, I go, well, where's the punch? Because I know what happens when you do these steps. But what these are is a system of service that you can replicate each and every time with consistency with your clients. Now, why is that important? Can anybody tell me why they think that's important?
Having consistency. So your clients almost know what to expect each time.
Yeah.
And they should expect the same.
And it's human nature, yeah. And you know what? We should exceed their expectations. Like in this day and age, a day of competition or days of competition, Pinterest, Instagram, they expect exceeded expectations. So if you can, and I don't know I'm sorry. Do we have a little towel? I just did a little coffee on the mat. Okay, so let me take the pulse. Like, what do you guys charge for a haircut? Like a round figure.
Our shorts are 45, medium 55, long 65.
Perfect. So between $45 and $65. So let's just say it's a long haircut, and you're charging $65 for a haircut. In this day and age, it has to feel like it's worth $75. You can't charge $65 for a haircut and run the risk of it feeling like a $35 haircut, right? We have to exceed their expectation where they walk out that door of this beautiful building and they say, oh my gosh, that's friggin' amazing. I would have paid twice that. Like, I felt so taken care of. I felt so excited about being there that they're gonna go home and they're gonna tell, 3 to 5 people. Usually 3 to 5 people if they've had a great experience, and 22 people if they've had a bad experience. Isn't that odd, right? That's typical, whether it's restaurants or hair. So what ends up happening is you are able to recreate each and every time this experience. Now, what is this 8 steps I speak of? Warm and friendly greeting. I have a feeling you guys are good at that. I was good at that too, right? Dry consultation, relaxing, rejuvenating scalp massage, precision haircut, great finish. You're going to write down on that little piece of paper, explain to them what you got. You're going to show them, take them up to the front, show them what you used, and then you're going to pre-book them. Why do I have 9 fingers up? I swear that was only 8. 8 things are going to happen each and every time. Now, you may think, oh, I do that. Because when I first saw this, I thought, oh, I am warm and friendly. Got this one down pat. Then I started to think, okay, consultation, and we're thinking 20 years ago, remember? I'm not so good at consultation because sometimes I'm afraid to ask because what if I can't fix it? So that said to me, all right, there's a different level here. I got to educate myself. I got to make sure that if I ask them that I know the result, like I know how to fix it. If it's too short, too long, too red, too blonde, too whatever, I need to have the knowledge to be able to take care of that. So that way I knew, okay, I need more education. That's going to improve my bottom line. That's going to make me a better hairstylist. And so in the rejuvenating scalp massage and shampoo, I'm like, okay, I'm willing to admit I was a hair cleanser, not a experience giver, correct? Not so good at that. And I actually started as a shampoo girl. I was going to college for art and started as a shampoo girl as a part-time job, and then fell in love with the industry, and the rest is history. But I realized I wasn't giving them a memorable experience. And with a product like Euphora that smells divine, no added fragrance, no added colorings, it all comes from essential oils. All that smell is coming from like Mother Earth and the essential oils of the plant. And so for me, it was eye-opening to say, okay, people want an experience. They want a repeatable experience. And if I was giving them a great shampoo one time and a decent, halfway decent shampoo the next time, not cutting it. Each and every time. There's a reason children watch Lion King a million times. Right? They want to know the beginning, the middle, and the end. There's a reason we go to Starbucks. Beginning, middle, and an end. When you go into Starbucks, you know what it's going to smell like, what it's going to look like, what color it's going to be, what they're going to be wearing, what their aprons look like, what the cup looks like. You're going to walk down that row and you're going to pick up the chocolate-covered graham crackers, or is that just me? That CD would be great in the esthetician room. Taking the CD too. Now, Starbucks has spent $1 billion, probably more than $1 billion, to study my psychology of purchasing, to know that as I walk down, that I will probably grab graham crackers, some almonds, I always go for the graham crackers, and the CD. That is a system of service. Do you know that they don't really make money on their coffee? They make money on their food, the graham crackers, the almonds, the bananas, the water, the juice. Their coffee is kind of just, that's not how they make their money. That's how they get us in there. They've spent billions of dollars to prove we love systems of service. We love it. What about Disneyland? Who's been to Disneyland? Anybody? Disney World? Disneyland? Awesome. Speaking of awesome, I call that a rainstorm. I live 25 minutes away from Disneyland. I work with people that will use their whole paycheck to go to Disneyland. They buy Disney passes. I love Disney. No, that's not true. I like Disney. They love Disney. They're obsessed. I call them Disneyphiles. And they're there every second. And the passes are expensive. I won't lie to you. I mean, there's savings, but they're expensive. But if you, okay, so who said that you've been to Disneyland, Disney World? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's the first thing you said after you got back from Disney World? Do you have children?
Yeah.
So you took your children? Okay, awesome. So what's the first thing you said? I'm tired. No.
Oh, it was exhausting. Yeah.
Did you ever say at some point, let me guide you a little bit, it was expensive? Like, did you spend a lot of money?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you say, oh my gosh, though, it was worth it because
Yes.
we had an experience? Does it usually rain this hard, or is this like anomaly? I love it. So you said it was expensive, but you said, oh my gosh, it's worth it because the lighting up my kid's face, like we got pictures. What's your child's name? Paisley. How cute is that? Paisley got a picture with Mickey, and oh my gosh, she was smiling so big, and we're going to save him, we're going to go back. Yes, that's the kind of experience that you want your client to know. Yes, it was expensive. Yes, I spent a lot of money on shampoo, but guess what? It was so worth it because my hair looks great. My neighbors are envious. I don't care what their reasoning is, but I finally have the hair that I always wanted. My color finally stays longer than it's ever stayed before. I feel like I finally have the hair that I was meant to have. That is value. And unless we explain that value to them, they'll never know that it's the Disneyland of hair or the Starbucks or whatever it is. So in that respect, the culture of a salon, and I'm super excited because I feel like if you guys connect to this, people like Michael can help you, and you have a great culture. I'm not criticizing your culture, but you can make a better culture, right? We can always make a stronger culture. And if we're all working together with the same mindset, like how powerful is that? It's powerful. And the community feels its power. And your clients feel the power, and your leaders feel the power. And it's a win-win-win-win situation. So when you guys are thinking of your salon, or you're trying to explain your salon to someone, to probably a potential client, let's just say, what are some words that you use to describe your salon? Do you want to write for me?
Sure.
That'd be awesome. That will keep me in my mode. So what are some words that you would use, like an adjective that you would use to describe? Elegant, beautiful, absolutely factual. Can you think?
Always uses family.
Family.
Love it.
Love it. If you could write family down there too, Leslie.
Well, I'm an esthetician, so I would say it's relaxing.
Relaxing.
Educational. We put our clients first.
I love it. All those things. And educational is really important. Education is super important. And I didn't get your name. What is your name?
Emily.
Emily. Hi, I'm Tamara. So what would you describe?
Inviting.
Inviting.
I was going to say welcoming.
Welcoming. This is good. These are all good. What do you think, Amy?
All the ones I was thinking of were already mentioned.
We can do a repeat unless you just feel passionate about a word.
Since I brought on Euphora, I say that I'm a green salon.
I love it. Green salon. Green. Green. I love it. Do we notice that not one of these things has to do with a haircut? Or skin, right? I love estheticians too, by the way. One of my favorite people, or many of my favorite people are estheticians. I know. Well, I always say I'm like 90 years old, and so my esthetician keeps me young.
We brought both of them.
Wonderful. Wonderful, because again, I think how powerful it is from the front desk to the back. If we're all understanding where our heads are at and what our motivation and our culture is, it's not even like 100 times more powerful. It's like 1 billion times more powerful because Emily can support Kayla. Kaylee. I should know that because my daughter's names are Caitlin and Kylie. And so that's a combination of the two. So I'll probably get it wrong again, girl. I'm so sorry. Give me 5.
You don't hear that very often.
I know, I don't. And so I know what it is, but it's funny. So if we can get on the same page, it is exponentially that much more powerful. And some of these, and I think we're good, you guys. Thank you. I think some of these words allow us to understand the power of keeping on the same page. Like family. That doesn't happen by accident. The funny part about it is minus the elegant, I would say, I could explain my salon too, like right there. Mine's more homey. Soon to be elegant. It is elegant. Hey, I won't disrespect my salon. I love my salon. It's definitely us. And when people come in, they would say family, relaxing, inviting. So what we understand is people are looking, yes, they're looking for hair and they're looking for great skin. They're looking for an experience. It's way more important, probably now more than ever. Anybody have any thought process on why? Because I will tell you my thoughts, but why do you think an experience right now is more important to people?
Well, what I was taught in school is like, you can be so at what you do. You could do, you could have like, you could be okay at haircuts, okay at what you do. But if you give them a great experience, that might be the reason to keep them coming back. You remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
I think it's like a
They're
cliche.
like,
It
she
creates
did
a
okay
on the
relationship.
haircut, but that hair wash, the shampoo, the products, she offered me a bottle of water. That's what keeps them coming back. I don't know.
Oh no, you're spot on. You're spot on.
Personal relationship, and you're creating trust with them, and so I wouldn't let anybody touch my hair who I didn't trust with my life because it's your hair.
It's your hair. Like, this is my confidence. I know that if I had on an $8,000 gown and my hair didn't like feel like me, I would feel horrible. Like, I could go to a massive, beautiful ball where there's 20 chandeliers like this and I would feel terrible. I could have on a pair of jeans and a $1.99 t-shirt and my hair was spot on. I'm golden. Like, I'm in. I feel like me and I can be me. And so it's really kind of, we're messing with people's self-confidence here, right? So the bottom line is we have to understand the experience is the connection. The Disney experience is the connection. The loyalty to a place like Starbucks is the connection. Do you know that Disney has created a color of paint to paint their trash cans so that people see them if they need to see them, but don't see them like they're not obnoxious. Like, they don't paint them red so you don't throw trash. You don't throw trash on the ground. And they've spent who knows how much money to create a situation where you figure out how far does somebody want to walk after they're eating a popsicle to throw away the stick. It's 30 feet. Like they decided 30 feet is how far somebody will walk before they need to throw trash away. They have sock vending machines in the back room so that all their employees have the same socks. And you can't, I don't know if they're white socks, but I don't know what they are. I can't remember. But they create a situation where all their employees are systematized, treating their clients with the same level of happiness, and well, because it is the happiest place on earth, right? And so if you find a grumpy person in Disneyland, they're not going to be there the next time, trust me, because they're very strict on their policies. They're very system oriented. So a system like the 8 Steps of Financial Success can create and recreate that same service. Now, my clients don't know that they don't even know the words 8 Steps. They don't know that I'm doing it. They just know that when they come in, they're always greeted. They feel great. They're listened to. They get a rejuvenating scalp massage and shampoo. They get a precision haircut. They're told exactly what we're using, how to use it, when they're supposed to use it. They get an instructional. In fact, I have my clients sometimes. I had a client I've been doing 25 years the other day who just can't, we changed her style up a little bit. She just can't get the sides blown dry correctly. I hand her the blow dryer and the brush. I'm like, come on. Her names happen to be Tammy, so we always feel like we're talking to each other. Hey, Tam. Hey, Tam. And I had her blow it dry in front of me. Now, that was powerful because she knows what it feels like now. It's completely different than showing somebody something. So if you have to take that step, explain what to use. I'm talking brush, blow dry. Why am I using this brush? Why am I using this blow dryer? Why am I using the cool button? Have you ever told a client about the cool button? And all of a sudden they're like, that's what that's for? Like what? Or you talk about skincare and you're thinking, why is it important? Why do I have to wear sunscreen? Because I know my esthetician pounds that into my head. 50, 50, 50. And I appreciate it too. And they're like, wow, I never knew that's why you had to wear sunscreen. Like, why is that important? So the system keeps us at our best, even on days when we're at our worst. Like sometimes we're distracted, and it's a dangerous place to be distracted and try to give somebody an experience. It's a dangerous place to be consistently. Like they may accept it one time, but I'm not sure they're going to accept it more than 3 times statistically. And so what ends up happening is we can break that bond down enough if we're not paying attention to their experience and we're not replicating the experience, that they're at the barbecue with the sister's cousin's niece that just graduated from beauty school and suggests something and they think, And then the next time somebody from outside of our world suggests something and they're like, seems like my experience might not be exactly what I thought it was from the first 3 times. Maybe I'll try this. Maybe I'll try them. I feel that client loyalty is in jeopardy in this day and age because they're pulled in so many different directions. They can look up somebody on Instagram, and if they had the means and the desire, they could hop on a plane, fly to Los Angeles, and get somebody to do their hair. Doesn't happen often, but it could happen, right? Because in the old days before Instagram or whatever, they had no clue who was in California and who was in Oklahoma, and what's the state next to us? Is Missouri close? Missouri, you know? So they all of a sudden have alternatives that if they have the means and the desire, they can find something else. They're also inundated with pictures and ideas like never before. It's kind of funny because I always talk about Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly was my mom's hairdresser back in the 60s, and he was a scary, scary man. He was mean. He was rude. I think he did okay hair. When I look back on it, it was antiquated, but it was probably really current at that point. And women, we'd get a magazine once a month, and they'd come in and go, oh, I want to look like this. Or, you know, we were in Pennsylvania, so we were like probably 4 years behind any trends, and oh, I want to look like this. And so Mr. Kelly was essentially, I'll give him credit, a 3-trick pony, right? He probably knew 3 haircuts and maybe 3 ways to style different hair, because all the ladies in the city, they all looked the same. They had the bouffants, the big curls, the mini bangs, and sometimes they put like a little bow right here. I know I sound like I'm talking Chinese, but you must have seen old movies or something. And everybody looked the same. They had the same color, because color wasn't a thing. They were all frosted. Like, oh my gosh, my mother is going to be 80 in July. When she was in her 30s, she looked older with a frosting than she does now at 80. because that stuff just antiquated you. It was just like pull it through a cap and bleach the heck out of it till you had like no pigment left in it whatsoever. And it was, I think back on it, technology's come really far because now we can actually improve hair with color. That blows my mind. And Mr. Kelly was just mean. But people didn't have a choice. If you wanted your hair done, you went to see Mr. Kelly. But now they have choices, more choices than they ever needed. So our culture is really important because when you, like these words that are your words, we have to make sure this happens each and every time. Like this isn't just chandeliers. This can be us. This can be how we treat people. This is definitely how we treat people. This is really important because the world out there, it's a thunderstorm every day with most people, right? It's like world's in turmoil. I will go one step further if you will allow me to say that I feel the less we talk about us behind the chair, the more we talk about it, or you probably definitely see this in skincare because they're laying back. They're super vulnerable. Like they're ready to relax. Something happens in the hair world where sometimes they're just ready to spew. I would doubt, it probably happens in the room, but probably less so. They just dump. And what ends up happening is if we really foster that, it is not good for their experience. Because eventually they will get tired of talking about their stuff, but somehow it gets confused with our experience we're giving them and they think it's our fault. I don't know how it happens, but I've been doing hair 40 years. And I've lost customers that I've allowed to just go and go and go about their problems. And eventually they leave, and I think it's because they think, you know what, that's not such a great experience. Not thinking, it's me interfering with my own experience because we haven't trained them. There's been time, and I know it's not easy. I would agree that it's not easy to control that. So my best advice at this stage of the game and this stage of your careers, it would be to talk more about health, wellness, and beauty. How excited you are that you see like Vogue Italia, or this is what I'm seeing, heavy bangs, and would you be interested in having a change and inviting them for change? Because most clients feel that to change their style, they need to change their stylist. That's scary. We can never afford to be in that lane. Like I decided a long time ago, somebody could leave me because they couldn't afford me or they were moving away or all of a sudden their daughter's going to hair school. Actually, it's kind of funny right now. I have 3 clients whose daughter's going to hair school and they've actually said, I love Natalie or I love her, but she's not doing my hair, which I know eventually Natalie's skill set will catch up and you know, Erica will definitely go with her daughter and she should, but it's kind of funny because they're like, she is not touching my hair. So it's really important for these clients to understand that we're committed for the long haul and we're committed to change. They don't have to change their stylist to change their style, and we're going to take care of them seasonally to create a situation where they know that that we can, even if you suggest bangs and they never get them, they know that you're the go-to. They know that you're the girl that can do it. So I think that that's powerful as well. And I'm trying to think of some other great advice that I've learned over the years. Connect yourself with a team, which I think you guys have, that believes the same things that you believe, and have mentors. I was just talking, and I literally, what's the girl in the blue? Logan. I wanted to call her Jordan. That's terrible. Logan told me about the owner of this beautiful place. Like, she sounds like a super powerful woman that I would love to meet. I'm going to have to meet her someday. Because if you want to connect with a mentor or somebody that gets stuff done, she sounds like the lady to do it, right? So you guys are in a good space. You have great leadership from people like Tina and Michael. And you have a great product line. I don't know much about your other product line, but I know that Euphora, and I can only assume that this is fulfilling your needs as well. And you need to create that and recreate that for your clients. I think it's really super powerful. Do you guys have any questions for me? I have other stuff I can spell, but I really seriously would love to hear from you. Do you have questions about products? Because I can answer it, or I can find somebody that can. Amy.
2 things. What was the product you were talking about that removes chlorine?
It's called Urgent Repair Shampoo. And it is amazing. That shampoo, what I can tell you about that is when Dawn Bewley was alive, the editor of Modern Salon had challenged all manufacturers to come up with, invent, for lack of a better, create a shampoo that was detoxifying. We don't call it chelating, or, what's the other word that denotes that it would remove color, because it's completely color safe. Detoxifying, and it's biodegradable. Because what ends up happening, a lot of those mineral removing deposit shampoos will actually go into the earth, and it can degrade, like say coral if it's enough, or rocks and things like that. So if it's breaking down minerals, we did not want it to break down Mother Earth, so to speak. So it's 100% biodegradable, it's color safe, it smells divine, it has menthol and camphor in it, it's very stimulating. You can use it every single day. I've used it on people that, like, say, blondes. We don't realize that environment, like smoke, pollution, minerals from the water, can really dull down a beautiful blonde. And so you give a great shampoo with that, and all of a sudden, you're rinsing it out and you're blowing it dry. You see this like amazing sparkle, because it's almost like taking off that mask of pollution and all that other stuff off the hair. So the blonde looks brand new. I've actually done it with redheads, and all of a sudden you're thinking, my gosh, the dimension in this color was being dulled by all those things that we just talked about. It's great before a perm. I would never do a perm without using the urgent repair shampoo, because it's going to remove medication, anything that would help slow down that perming process. So that's one of my favorites. It's lovely.
And then can you repeat your 8 steps to financial success?
I would love to. And eventually what I'll do is I'm going to have Michael bring you, we have papers, I'm going to have him bring you so you can actually have something to look at. But the first one is a warm and friendly greeting. Second one is dry consultation, which means we're sitting down in front of a client and you understand the power of eye to eye and just say, hey, how did we do last time? Or if it's a new client, what brings you here today? Like, what are you looking for that you haven't gotten in the past? And how can I help you? Or however you do that, eye to eye is better than if I'm standing behind her and I'm looking at the mirror through her. There's just a level of trust that's given when you're sitting eye to eye, and they really know this woman is committed to my end result, period. So we have dry consultation. The next one is rejuvenating and relaxing scalp massage and shampoo. So we go back there and we're not just hair cleansers. It's fun because, like, say, mine's kind of open to the rest of the salon. So people say, how do you do that if there's lots of noise going in here and everybody's cranking? You just give them the best shampoo with some specific moves that you're doing to relax them. If you're doing a good enough job, they're not going to hear anything. Right? They're going to go to that place where the eyes roll back in the head, and that's what they're going to, because what's the favorite thing that people talk about when they get their hair done? Yes. Michael, can we get them some copies at some point of the 8 Steps to Financial Success that they could visually look at? We're talking about that now, and I would love for them just to have something in their hand to hold to really just kind of get a feel for it. So, oh, well, I didn't expect it that quickly, but that's okay too. Oh, if you want to go out, you can. So when you are laying them back there, and once again, they don't know this exists. They just know that every time this is what happens. And so some people are really blessed, like they have a completely separate shampoo room. I don't have that either. I'm right here with everybody. And so we have some music playing in this section, and we just kind of, we just take them to a place where they're still better off if they talk the whole way through. We have trained our clients to unload, to talk to us about stuff that they probably shouldn't be, and we have played into that. And I know I was guilty of it. In the very beginning of my career, I talked so much to my clients when I look back on it because of, at that point, I was an insecure stylist. Like, I didn't realize that I was trying to make them like me so that maybe they wouldn't notice that my haircut wasn't quite on par or my color wasn't quite on par. So if I kept talking and they connected with me and they had a personal relationship with me, maybe they wouldn't leave. I was a decent hair cutter, but you know what I mean? That was the stories. And I realized many years later from my mentor who said to me, Tam, they need to like you. They need to love you, but they don't need to know everything about you. Like, if they walk out that door and they know more about me than they do about their hair or their skin, what to take care of it, when to use it, how to use it, what's going to help them, shame on me. Shame, shame, shame on me. Now, if they walk out that door and they know more about all those things, and they know that I have 2 daughters, and they know that I'm in Oklahoma, and they know that I have 2 dogs, and they know my daughter's getting married, they know all that stuff. But they literally just want to look beautiful. I feel my grandmother would probably go 3 doors down if she thought she could get a better experience and be more beautiful. Not sure that's true, but, it's human nature. And we don't want to give them any reason to choose somebody else. You're so sweet. Thank you. That's awesome. So as we're going, I do want to go down. And so we were already on the rejuvenating scalp massage, precision haircut. You're explaining to them, why you're cutting the hair. There's a little more time in here to talk. I usually don't talk a lot during my hair cutting, but I've trained my clients that that's my way. Because I also used to think, that silence was awkward. To a non-confident well, I'm not saying you're not confident. No, I'm not saying you're not confident. But I would venture to guess, Sylvia?
Yes.
I would venture to guess, Sylvia, once I tell you this, you're going to think a little differently about it. Because it's just about when you know better, you do better, correct? Silence to a confident person is just silence. And I've been there, trust me. Like, you and I could trade seats, and I'm sure you could teach me something. But if I had anything to say to a younger, because everybody's younger than me, is silence is not awkward if we are in our zone and we're doing our work. And I think I'm more creative when I say to my client, and people say, well, what do you say to your client? Like, it's odd. And I proved this one time because I had learned a new haircut. And this was not that long ago. I'm going to say this is like 10, 12 years ago. I had learned a new haircut, and you know how you have the schematic, like, the instructions, we have like instructions. And I wanted to do it on my client. So I knew her fairly well. I've been doing her hair quite often, and I wanted to make sure I didn't miss a step. So I set it on my tray beside my station, and I said, hey, I am going to do a new haircut on you today. We talked about it. She was really up for it. And so I pulled this paper out of the drawer. I said, I know we're doing this new cut. I'm just going to keep this paper here because it's the instructions. I want to make sure I don't miss a step. And I thought she was going to go, are you freaking kidding me? Let me out of here. Like, what the heck is wrong with you? She went, really? Okay. And I said, I need you to be quiet, or I'd like you to be quiet during the haircut, and I just want to get in my zone and do my thing. And she went, really? Oh my gosh, okay. And like, she sat up straighter than she'd ever sat before, and she was so excited about the new haircut. And she created a situation where I thought she was gonna have less confidence in me because I'm like basically following a roadmap. She had more confidence because she knew I was specifically creating something for her. I had gone and educated myself, and I was gonna execute it on her with perfection because I wasn't going to bore her with my speech. And so I realized going into the zone was my buzzword. And I now tell all my clients, like, you know what, if you need to talk to me, that's cool, fine, no problem. But I'm going to go in my zone, and we're going to do this haircut. And when I feel like I'm at a point where we can chat, I'll come back to you. And they're like, cool. Like, and honest truth, I think you probably have figured out that I like to talk, right? And so if I do start to talk during the hair, they'll go, get back in your zone. Like, they want me in my zone, right? Like, get back in my zone, get back in your zone. And it's actually kind of a joke right now. And so, but it's cool because what that means to me is they're not put off by me having a paper beside or being quiet, or I think they're sometimes relieved that you invite them to be quiet because they also feel awkward in the silence, correct? So if you take them back, or you decide as a group that you're going to take them back, and before you take them back, you're going to say, hey, look, you know what? We're trying something new. Really want to get kind of a relaxing gig going back here. How do you feel about, just relaxing and enjoying what I'm doing for you? And we'll chat when we get back to my chair. That's what I did. I never had one person say to me, no, that sounds like a dumb idea. They're like, oh, cool. Like, they're on board because they already love you. They're on board with change. It's just how we present it to them. If we're awkward about it, they're going to feel awkward about it. If we're awkward about silence, they're going to feel awkward about silence. But if you explain to them why I'm being quiet during the haircut or why I'm being quiet during the shampoo, it's for your benefit. And I literally, hundreds of people I've told that to. I've never had anybody say, no, please tell me your dog story again, Tam. It's so fascinating. But yeah, so it's just worth a try. It's worth a thought. I know it's worked for me. I'd say that's the hardest thing. And my team, like I have awesome, like just awesome, like you guys, like they're awesome, and they want to give the best service they can give. And is that the hardest thing in the world, to get clients to disengage so that they can have that experience? Yes, because they've been trained for years and years and years that we as an industry, chatty, talky, sharing, oversharing, creating, the whole 9 yards, we've done that. So we can undo it. That's how I figure. And my mentor proved it to me that something like this can allow you that consistency. And then once they realize that that's what you're about, it's like, they're even more connected. I had a nail tech one time that I had to let go, and it makes me sad because she was magnificent nail tech. But she had more problems than all of us and the whole, mall down that way and that way put together. And she overshared. And one morning I woke up and I thought, I'm a nice girl, like I'm a good boss, but I am a benevolent dictator. Like the bottom line is my vision is why this place exists, and I must be true to my vision. And if somebody's on board, it's because they have agreed that that's what they want for their lives too. So I would be a really terrible leader if I didn't hold them to the standards that they signed on for. But it's not easy. I'm not gonna say it's easy. So I woke up one morning and I thought, okay, I know this is a problem. I know this is an issue. Because I am certain that most of her clients wake up in the morning because she does great nails and they're excited to have their nails done. But their second thought is, oh my God, if I have to hear la, 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 la one more time or one more problem, that's not part of my vision, right? That wasn't part of my vision for service. I couldn't let it happen, because if I let it happen continually, I'm a bad leader. And so you reluctantly do the things that you don't want to do as a leader because it's your baby. And if you're here, it's because you agree that this is how we take care of people. So, we hugged it out and we parted ways, but I knew it was the right thing to do, because after you do something like that, all the clients are like, oh my God, that's needed to happen. And we're sorry. And it's sad, but that needed to happen. And so if you can create a level of service that, yeah, your clients need to know about you. Like, I would never want to be a robot. Like, I would never ask any of my team to be me. In fact, it's kind of funny sometimes, because they'll go, but I don't know, we can't be you, Tamara. And I'm like, I wasn't Tamara 15 years ago. I'm spending most of my days just trying to be Tamara. But we're all different. We have good days and bad days, but a level of service allows you to not have that bad day, because all these things are going to happen. You're going to give them that guest consultation. You're going to complete the service by showing them what fabulous products you use and give them a little blurb about why it's going to do, and then you're going to book in advance. Do you guys track your booking, your pre-booking? Yeah. Good. How do you guys feel you're doing with it? Do you think it's an easy thing to do, a hard thing to do? And trust me, I've heard everything. I stand in no judgment of anybody. Like, we did a numbers class yesterday afternoon, and let me tell you, it was fun, it was awesome, and there was all different, it wasn't just one salon, it was multiple salons. And some people were tracking each and every number, and some people were tracking some numbers, and some people were tracking no numbers. And it's a super vulnerable place to be, to sit in a room with people that are doing every individual number, and to say, we don't track any numbers. Like that, I admire the people that said that, because I said, awesome, I'm so happy to know that, because I'm going to show you today why it's important to track your numbers. I'm going to show you today why it's important to track, for the people that were tracking, say, sum totals, like service, retail, the sum total, why it's important to track individual numbers, why we need to know what our pre-booking is, our retention of new clients, our retention of existing clients. Why is that important to the bigger picture? Because it tells us, where's our level of service? If we're retaining existing clients but not retaining new clients, what would that tell you? If our numbers were going down on new clients? Service. Probably service, because new clients would have a tendency to stick around longer. existing clients would have a tendency to stick around longer, where new clients would have a tendency to go once and done, I'm out, right? Or twice and done, I'm out. So that tells you that. So that's important in pre-booking because that is the golden. It's good for the house. It's good for the individual. Estheticians pre-book as well. You guys, yeah, I think it's important because it also shows us that immediate value. Like, we're not waiting for them to come back and get their service, right? We're not hoping that they come back. We're not wishing, because that gets us nowhere, correct? What do we say? Hoping and wishing is not a plan. It is just hoping and wishing. And so a plan is to have a plan at the end of the service is, I'd love to see you for your skincare or for your hair care. I'd like to see you back in 3 to 5 weeks. I see that Wednesdays work great for you. Would you like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock? I think give them 2-day choices and 2 time choices, because really what that's doing, it's building. And I know that new people that are building, what ends up happening is, okay, so you're starting out and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I have really 1 full week and 3 not so full weeks. And then you continue on with something like a system of service. I have 1 good week, 1 halfway decent week, and 2 bad weeks. 1 good week, 2 good weeks, 3rd week kind of okay, and then a 4th bad week. And then eventually you're going, wow, like this has built on itself now. Now I have a solid book. Now I can raise my prices. Now I can pick and choose the clients that give me the most joy. And I don't mean that to sound, that doesn't sound like snotty or elite or whatever, but I have a book of, and when we're starting out, oh, please do everybody and anything, kids, dogs, whatever we got to do to build our confidence and build our energy and build our experience and our skill set. And, but now it's like, I do the people that bring me joy. Like, I make sure, I don't have a person, and bless you, a person in my book that I wake up in the morning and go, eat your Wheaties, Sigert. She's a-coming. She's a-coming. And I'm not saying we don't do those people too, because believe it or not, I actually kind of enjoy those people. Not gonna lie to you. I actually kind of enjoy taking care of the people who I know out in the world nobody else wants to take care of, because they need love too, right? And sometimes it gets excessive, and then that's a whole other conversation. We need a whole day for that. But I kind of enjoy those people because winning them over is like the A+ from the teacher who only ever gives C's. And if you can get a loyal client that is like a little harder, I feel good. I feel good about that. I feel like I've done my gig and I've created a bond with them and taken control. Same way we were talking about the consultation earlier is you don't need an hour consultation. You need a thorough consultation, but you don't need an hour. I think if it goes much past 10 or 15 minutes, we've lost control of the consultation. And so there's been times where I've said, if they're wishy-washy about stuff, because it's not good to start a wishy-washy experience. Because what happens?
They're not happy.
Doesn't matter what we do. Even if we've done what they think they asked us to do, or we think they asked us to do, not good. They don't know what they want. There's been times, and I'm not saying you send business away, but if you really feel, and stop me if you don't want me to say this, if you really feel this is going to go south, I would rather put off the experience for them. Yeah. I don't want to get in trouble, but as a business owner, I give my girls carte blanche. I trust them enough to know if you feel this is going south, there is no amount of money that client is going to pay to our house that is going to protect us from what could happen. The review, and did you guys hear me say if they love it, they'll tell 3 people. If they hate it, they're going to tell 22. And so for me, and it happens rarely. I mean, I can't even remember the last time it happened, but I also know that me backing the team and saying, your call, I will back you up, rarely happens, but it's happened once or twice probably in 12 years. I don't even remember. But that confidence that they have to go, okay, I just feel like maybe we need to reschedule this consultation when we're clearer, and not like when you're clearer, or, you're not pointing the finger, when we're clearer on where we're headed with your hair or skin. I think it would be beneficial for both of us. Yeah, well, I'm glad that was okay. Yes. Thank you. So I think if you guys get together and kind of brainstorm, like, how do we want to introduce, because you guys already have a great culture. How do we want to systematize it, for lack of a better word and kind of a boring word, but how do we want to systematize it to make sure that each and every time these clients are getting accomplished what needs to be accomplished? And I'm telling you, in fact, let's just read the paper together. Because what I want to tell you is they don't need to know this exists. They don't need to know it's systematized. But I'm going to get you in the mindset of a client when they leave here. And this is what they're going to say. And as I go through what I'm going to say, just think of it as each individual step. Oh my gosh, they are amazing there. They're so friendly. They make me feel like I'm home. They listen to my problems and they solve it with either doing, haircut, color. They talk about product, tell me what to use, how I can recreate. That scalp massage is amazing. My cut always looks fantastic. My color looks fantastic. And they really explain to me how to blow dry the hair, how to take care of the hair, how to take care of my skin, because this is also can be beneficial for any salon professional. They show me on a piece of paper what they used, how they used it, and if I can't take the product home, I get the pamphlet and I can at least research it on my own. And they complete the service by showing me exactly what they used, and I always book in advance, so I'm always looking good. So to them, this is just awesome service. To us, it's a way to make sure they get awesome service. So I find this, and I can't tell you, I've had people literally say, oh, this doesn't work. Like, really? It doesn't work? Like, it worked great for me. Tell me a little bit about what happened. Well, I tried it once. Once? One whole time? Did you go through all 8 that one time? Because it's funny to me. Like, you can't blame a system for not working if you're not working the system, so to speak. And so I know personally, when I first heard about this all those years ago, I thought, wow, like I do that. I'm golden. And then like I told you, I'm like, oh, I'm a cleanser of hair. Like I'm not the best consult. Precision haircut, I'm good. I'm not a great finisher because I told you I went to barber school. And so finishing was not my gig. I also went to barber school and then perming I used to do 10 perms a day when I first started my career. Can you imagine? Look, she just horrified. I know most people go, what? But that was it. Like we talked about, that was the style. So I was a good scruncher of curls, not a great finisher. It perplexed me when we first, started doing round brushing, and now I think I'm a fabulous finisher because I've educated myself. I've gone to schools. I've done our youth school, our advanced academy. We have a great finish class. I've done twice, which is 3 days of blow drying. My husband was funny the first time. He's like, haven't you been doing hair for 20 years? Why are you going to blow dry class for 3 years? I said, if Euphora's doing it, if Euphora's giving it, I'm doing it, period. And I took it twice because I realized when I came back, I learned a third, got a third wrong, and forgot a third. And so I thought, if I go 3 times, I'll have it down pat. But it changed my way of cutting hair when I realized the best way to finish hair because I could see how it fell and I could, adjust the cut from the very beginning. So that was fun. So, and then on, I was a terrible recommender because I thought of myself as a salesperson. And I think my retail per sales was probably 63 cents. I'm telling you, it was terrible. Awful. I wouldn't talk about product in the beginning. I would kind of in their head, in their wallet, embarrassed, too shy, thought they'd judge me. And I would run past the retail area and I'd go, did you want anything today? Well, what are they going to say? Not today, because I haven't created value in anything. Like, why would they understand that what I created today was essentially not just skill, but based on support product, take-home product? So I proposed this yesterday, or I guess Sunday, in the haircutting class. I said, what if the owner took away everything off your back bar? No products. They gave you a toothbrush and a bar of dial soap, and they said, Amy, recreate all the beautiful hair that you do every day with a bar of dial soap and a toothbrush. Could you do it?
Probably not.
Yeah, just say no. It was so cute because, you're so sweet. She wants to say, yes, I could do it. That's okay. You wanted to say that. I admire that. But no, we couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I don't know anybody could do it. But essentially that's what's happening when we're not telling our clients about product or even skincare. We know that a treatment is amazing. Like a treatment will be life-changing. But if they're going back to their house and they're using a bar dial soap and a toothbrush, yes, she gets the shivers. Like that's not going to help anybody. Support product. And I think estheticians are really good at recommending product. Like I think that sometimes they're better than hairstylists.
Our girls are amazing
Yeah.
at
And I feel like as I travel around, and I'm not saying you guys aren't, I'm just saying I find in general, and I'm not quite sure, maybe because they understand the power of take home, like this, maybe it's more visual, maybe, I don't know why, but that's awesome. And so I say to you that we're tying our hands behind our clients' back if we're not suggesting take home. If we're not. Now I have a statistic that's really kind of cool, and I'm going to write it up here. Thank you. How we doing? We doing okay? Okay. I'm going to write this one because I don't want to tell the secret before. Like it has to have impact. Thank you. All right. So I told you that I was really blessed to do webinars for the PBR. So I did that one, retail equals retention. And I found a statistic from a national skincare company. You'd be proud to know it's skincare. And they studied thousands of clients. And they asked thousands of clients 2 questions. How many of you want a recommendation for take home? And a number was given. Then the second question they asked, how many of you are receiving it in a salon world? Blew my mind. Okay, so how many clients out of thousands of clients want recommendation? Does anybody have an idea? Just throw out a number. 60%? That's awesome because most people go lower, but it is 80%, which I thought was amazing because that shocked me. I thought, oh, okay, that's kind of reassuring that if you have 100 clients sit in your chair, 80 of them want you to tell them. I mean, they're ready for you to tell them. How many do you think actually got recommendation from their hair care specialist and their skin care specialist? 20, 20, 30. We feel good about those numbers? Thank you. Does that not blow your mind? Like seriously, when I did this research, I literally read the article twice and I called the corporation and I said, look, I have read your articles about wanting and getting, and I'm doing a webinar and I need statistics. Like I can't be a dummy and I can't say something that's not factual. So please tell me that there's a 0 behind here or a 1 at the very least in front of it. They said no. This is factual. So at first I was sad because I thought, oh my gosh, like I knew we as an industry were probably not doing great with our recommendation. However, I'm always a glasses half full kind of girl. And I thought, oh my gosh, if 80% want it and only 3% are getting it, like I feel so much power in knowing that if I talk about recommending, that my client's going to want it. That they are going to feel that value and they are going to, connect with me in a way that is missing from their lives. Is that not crazy? Absolutely crazy. And yet, there is no 0 and there is no 1. So I'm willing to take a chance and speak with a client about recommendation in something that I know and love to help them solve their problems because I know they want it. And I know that they don't even, like 3%. I'm glad you guys get excited about that because I literally called the company. I'm like, I need to know. Was there a typo in that article? Was there a typo?
I believe it because now that we do have the Pinterest and the Instagram, what I'm finding is that all these do-it-yourself things drive me crazy. Like literally last night.
Order from specific skincare things and stuff like that. Like you can just order it yourself, but you don't know what you're ordering.
Last night I literally was a video across where this girl's like, why I shave my face with a disposable razor.
Like a daisy razor?
Yeah, I'm like, wow.
Stop not
No, no,
Do
no.
it. Yeah, I'm like, it's, oh my
Ooh,
gosh.
I had a
was like,
client
but
do it yourself, and she did like baking soda in
that's what I
her
was gonna say,
hair,
in the
mayonnaise
hair,
mask.
but
I'm
all
like,
these crazy
You had to do it yourself. Bleach and cut time.
I'm like,
Sugar color correction, you know.
but I think the 3%
She
is
probably
just
won't do that again.
intimidation factor of these people come in and they're like, well, I use rhodanium fields,
Right.
you know, and I have great skin, and I'm like,
Well, I think, and you guys feel free to disagree with me, I think there are two camps, marketing and reality. And even of sorts, Pinterest or yourselves are of sorts of marketing because people see it online, they're trying it, they're never really, like, they don't show you the end results of the self-bleach and the whole 9 yards, right? Sometimes we get to see it, sometimes we get to see the fix, and then there's reality. And even when you're out there and you're looking at products, and you know, I'm not talking about any specific product, I can only talk to Euphora because there's marketing and there's reality. Like, I know for a fact that I have connected myself for 20 years with a company that will tell you the reality. What's in their product is what's in their product. What it says it's going to do, it's going to do. A lot of marketing over here saying the exact opposite because they will benefit from scaring you off something else, whether it's us or somebody else, right? So one of the reasons I've aligned myself with Euphora is because I know that what they say is factual. I have been around them. I've been around the principal players. I've been around the educators. I've been around the product for 20 years. I've been at corporate like hundreds of times. And I know that they are who they say they are. We align ourselves with a distributor that who they say they are is who they are. They appreciate the fact that we have systems, programs, philosophies that maybe other people don't have. But we have it because Don Bewley was a hairdresser. His wife is it's family owned. There's a principal player. Like, they want to make sure that salon this gorgeous and stylists this talented and gorgeous are living their best lives. And that the clients are the trickle-down effect. And we're grassroots, right? It's so funny when people go, well, I've never heard of Euphora. Like, well, you should. Right? Like, yeah, we don't have $1 bazillion to spend on a billboard and, whenever we get a chance, we'll put ourselves in Aesthetica magazine. And you know what we're most proud of is a lot of our educators and a lot of our people, a lot of Euphora salons, we had one of my favoriteest educators, she was a NAHA nominee. Like, that's what we're proud of, is like not buying a magazine ad, but to know that Dana Cachetta I saw her on stage, like, she was this close to being a NAHA winner. In fact, in my opinion, she was a winner because she was nominated. I've never been nominated for a NAHA. I think I do great work, but, one of my own teammates was just in Colors magazine for a beautiful color that she did, and she's an educator for us too. So that to me speaks more about who we are than some people don't know who we are. Does that make sense? Like, I'm more proud of that. Anybody can buy an ad, but can you create a group of people or a group of stylists that are elevated in their skill set and get excited about doing photo shoots or, create something else? That to me is important. Has anybody done a photo shoot in here? Photo shoots?
Like
Photo.
with hair and stuff?
Yeah. Amy, you have? It's so fun, isn't it?
Kind of takes you back to when you first got started.
I agree.
The creativity and, doing your own thing.
Yeah. And I think what it does, and again, feel free to disagree with me, we're not, I think our client, we have to have clients, right? But we are limited in our creativity. We can't do anything and everything that we want because we have to make sure that client wants to come back to us. And so we are limited of sorts. A photo shoot, and I would suggest as a team, doing it as a team is super powerful. She's right. It takes you back to the beginnings where your mind can go wherever you want to go. You can do whatever you want to do and create these beautiful shots. I remember some of my first photo shoots, which I thought I was so out of the box and whoa, this is really stepping out. And I look back at them now and go, wow, have I learned a lot, you know? And it's not even criticism. It's just like, I guess this is good. I have learned a lot about like pushing my boundaries of creativity. We talked about something yesterday, and this kind of plays into it, and it is freeing. Would you say it's freeing? Yeah, even if afterwards I'm super critical of what I've done, I still like go, okay, well, I did that. Now next time I'm going to do this, and next time I'm going to do that. So I would invite you all to try to maybe get together. It doesn't have to be, well, you have videographers here. I'm assuming that you take photography. This girl, I guess, she could take your pictures. So you would be behind that too, right? Yeah. And think about your creativity. Would you agree that there's something really freeing about taking photos of things like that and seeing it from a different eye? Because a camera is like a different eye. It's going to show something different. And I know that the first time I did it, I realized that the camera doesn't see things doesn't see it as big as I see it in my mind. Like a camera, you have to like really push it to the limit. Would you agree? To look as big as it is in your mind. And that was one of the first things that I learned. And where was I going with that? Got all excited.
Photography. Giving you your life back. Creativity.
Creativity is really important. I know I was heading in another direction, but maybe it'll come back to me. Who knows? But I think it's really important to feed our souls, so to speak, as creative people. And I know estheticians are creative as well. Do you guys do makeup? Yeah? Emily does makeup? Yeah.
I do my makeup.
Right. But how fun would it be to like connect with one of the girls and just like feed that fantasy makeup, or if you do makeup, like push it to the nth degree and see what happens. Like team up and just have a day where you just go crazy. I would suggest like doing a mood board and creating like what you want to see and have an idea, storyboard, and be flexible, because that was, I think, one of my first mistakes too, is all of a sudden I'm like, it has to be exactly like this. Well, nothing ever goes exactly like you want it to go. And sometimes it's better. One of the best days of my life was we had a massive photo shoot class at Euphora. And did you guys get a chance to meet Mirza when he was in your area? He's one of our style director. I guess they probably didn't get to meet him, but he's one of my colleagues, and he is an amazing creative man, and we are in national trainers together. And so we were just going to observe this photo shoot class. And we really wanted to get our hands in it, but you know, we weren't taking the class. So they said, hey, Mirza and Tam, we have an extra model. And we had done many photo shoots. He's our style director. He's done tons of photo shoots, but we never did one like spur of the moment. There's a model there. What do you want to do? No planning, no nothing. It was one of the best days of my life, of my professional career. But children were probably the best day of my life, so I can't lie. But in my professional career, because we got this girl, she had massive hair, like all of our hair put together and then some. I had never seen so much hair. So I look at him, he looks at me, I go, let's just make it big. Let's just go crazy. So we created all these Zulu knots with product. We used pieceworks, sculpture glaze. I think we had some formation in there. And we just did tons of Zulu knots. And we were going to do the photo shoot the next day, because that first day was prepping hair. So we sent her home with all these Zulu knots in her head. She comes back the next day, and her hair was still wet. Like it was still damp. And we know that we cannot take these knots out, because you look like you have pretty thick hair too. Do you have pretty thick hair? Yeah. Well, she had you beat hands down. Trust me, Logan. And so we had to put her into the dryer for an hour to get it dry, because we knew if we take these knots out and it's not dry, our whole vision has failed. So finally we got it dry. We take these knots out, and we're taking these knots out, and her hair is getting, I swear, as big as a chandelier. It was unbelievable, and it looked so cool. And him and I had never done Zulu knots before. And so we're just like, yay. So we get her the makeup, outfit, we put her out there taking pictures, and all of a sudden he looks at me and he says, have you guys ever sewed hair? Do you guys ever sew like updos and stuff like that? It's so cool. You got to experiment with it. It's so cool. And you take a needle and a thread. You can YouTube it. I mean, it's not hard, and it's really kind of cool and freeing, and it looks so free form, because when you put pins in, you're kind of making it tighter, and there's something different that happens. So he goes, can you sew hair? I'm like, I can sew clothes, so I'm going to just give it a whirl, right? And we sewed that hair up, and those pictures were even better because all of a sudden she has this massive head of hair that's like going this way, and it has a direction. And I'm telling you, I would have put so many pins in there, I never could have recreated what I created with that sewing process. So we step back and we go, I think this is the best day of our lives. Like, what the heck just happened to us? We were put in a situation where we didn't say no, because that's something you want to know as a salon professional too. Don't say no. Figure it out. We're in a day and age where we can figure it out. Like, you can go to classes, you can watch a video, you can create something because you're inspired by something else. Just don't ever say no. Take that opportunity and just go with it. There's someone called Amy Cuddy. Do you know who Amy Cuddy is? She does a TED Talk. And she says, fake it till you believe it. Right? Not till you make it. Fake it till you believe it. Because once you believe it, you can make everybody else around you believe it. So she's cool because she had a TED Talk about power posing. Has anybody heard of that? Because she's the power poser. Have you heard of power posing? So her philosophy is when you're in a situation where you have to be powerful and confident, I guess, she did studies. She's a social scientist. So she literally, it's science. And she says, like, when you run across the finish line, no matter what culture you're from, no matter what country you're from, what part of the world, is you do this. Like, you run across the finish line, and what happens, man? I'm not a runner, so if I look awkward, it's because I am. Chin up, arms up, right? We've all seen that pose, somebody coming across that finish line. So her thought process was, is this what happens when you're successful? Can doing this make you successful? Which is a pretty simple thought process. So her being a scientist, she figured out how to measure that. So we have something in our bodies called cortisol, which is a stress hormone. We have something in our bodies, female or male, called testosterone. And testosterone is kind of our confidence. We think of it as aggression. It's not necessarily aggressive. It's our confidence. So when we're confident, our testosterone is up and our cortisol is down. So she had people going in for job interviews. She swabbed them, measured their cortisol, measured their testosterone. They did their power pose. They did their, whatever for 5 minutes before they went into the job interview. And what she found, and then she swabbed them after they had done that. This is powerful, I think. Their cortisol went down by 20%, and their testosterone went up by 25%. Like, that's not little numbers. That's not wee little 3. That's enough to make a huge difference in how we feel about ourselves in a situation. And I'm not going to lie to you. There's times before, like, I go on stage or whatever I do, this is a hard one. Like, if you're standing backstage, people are like, what is she doing? Even this is a little weird, but it's more explainable. Like, I'm just power posing. Still weird, but in fact, stand up right now. You can choose. You guys too, stand up. Everybody needs a little boost of confidence. I prefer this just because, but chin has to be up. Arms spread, chest like open, and just feel that. I mean, 5 minutes is a long time. I probably don't ever do it for 5 minutes, but doesn't it feel like something's different happening in your body? Like energy's moving. You do it enough times, and really it's even better and better. Does that not feel good? Oh, that feels, she's enjoying that. And it's this too, because look at this when you're doing this. It doesn't feel the same as when you lift the chin. And that way I don't have double chins too, so it's good. So it feels good, right? So you can sit down. That's awesome. But if you're ever in a situation where you just need a little extra confidence, I hide in the bathroom sometimes, won't lie. Didn't do it today. I'm feeling pretty good. We've had 3 good days, Tina, right? I'm feeling pretty good. I power posed the first day, and now I'm feeling like, we got it going on. But it's really important to come to your clients with confidence and with knowledge. I firmly believe that, Sylvia, correct?
Yes.
If Sylvia and I were doing somebody's hair, and we did the exact same thing, down to the molecule, color, haircut, it's the exact same length, the exact same look, the exact same thing, but she was confident, and I was not confident about my work, my client chances are, will find fault with what I've done. Will not find fault with what she's done, because she's owning it. Like, she's presenting it and owning it. and saying, hey, you know what, next time let's think about maybe making it a little more red. Have you thought about that? Or, you know what, next time I think I'm going to go with a little more gold in your hair. I really love what we got going on today, but I have a plan. And if I'm like, oh, if you like it, because I've seen clients I've seen stylists talk their client out of loving their hair. Has anybody ever seen that before? It's like, oh, I don't know, maybe I should have made it more gold. Do you like it? I'm not sure. Maybe I should have cut the bangs so short. I'm not sure whether I cut the bangs too short. I mean, I've seen it with my own eyes, and I'm like, shut up. Like, stop it. They love it. Or same way with Prada. Like, oh, I know it's kind of expensive, and you know, oh my gosh, I don't know. Like, your daughter's getting married. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't take it home. It's okay. And in reality, the client's ready to go, yeah, I'm going to take the shampoo and conditioner because I trust what you're saying, or I'm going to take that skincare because I trust what you're saying, and then we talk them right back out of it. So don't do that. Have the confidence to know that you have knowledge, you have a skill set, you're proud of what you do, you're confident in what you do, you're confident that your client, would we agree now, we can never deny that they don't want to hear it. We can't deny it. And we also have statistic that shows us that if we do it, we're going to stand out in a good way to our clients. And we're going to create a situation. Yes?
Think about how much your retail would go up.
It's
I'm just seeing dollar signs.
I love that because it is, we exist here because of money. And the secret is we would probably do it not because of money, right? Because we love what we do. But the bottom line is we don't exist without money. And there is no shame in seeing dollar signs. I always tell people all the time when I'm coaching business owners, there is no shame in creating profit. Like, that's okay. Like, it's okay. Where do we feel guilty about making money? And I did it for years. I'm telling you, I am you. But I thought, like, creativity, like, how do you put a price on it? There's a whole story we tell ourselves in our heads. But I know that there's no shame in seeing dollar signs and the potential for dollar signs. Because in the business classes we did yesterday, there's only 3 ways to raise revenue. It's either to raise prices, give the clients what they want in retail, or lower overhead. Well, as a salon owner, I'm going to tell you right now, overhead never goes down. It only goes up. Am I right?
Correct.
Never goes down. So the only other way is to create a system of service so powerful that you're so busy that you can raise your prices and that you're giving the people what they want. Kind of exciting, right? The potential is so exciting. And I'm telling you, if you switch it in your head, there's no stopping you. I know that because I literally, that first week after I heard this, and I thought, I'm going to be honest with you, I was ready to get out of the business. And I went to Global Connection, which was a Euphora event, and I had been in the business 20 plus years at that point. I was ready to get out. I actually went to court reporting school and signed up to be a court reporter. Like, what? Can you imagine me, like, typing and listening to the judge and the lawyers? Boring. Boring. Like, you guys see me, right? Do you see that? No, I don't either. I wonder who that girl was. But I think that girl I know that girl had no mentors, had no guidance, thought that the business had used her up, lived in fear, didn't have a system, didn't have anything she believed in. I know that girl because it was me. And then I went and saw Don Bewley on stage, and I told you how dynamic he was, and I'm thinking, he's like, are you bored? Do you have mentors? And I mean, he was like hitting every button. I'm like, I felt like there was probably 700 people in the audience, 600, and everybody disappeared but me. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And I went home that day, like, feeling hope, like, oh my God, like, I am not burnout. I'm not going to court reporting school. I'm a salon professional. And I have not been fed. I am not inspired. I don't have mentors telling me, honey, this can get better. It's okay. There's a better way. And I never wanted a salon, like, never, because I thought it was chaos. I thought it was run on emotion. I didn't know there was systems of service. I didn't know there was a way to, gather people together like-minded and work together and support each other and build a culture and, have a family and all that. I never saw that. I saw chaos. And that's why I have my salon, because I thought, I kept looking for a place that would feed that part of me, because once you know better, you do better. And I never found it, so I had to build it. It was like Field of Dreams, right? Build it and they will come. And so I had to build it. And it was, 12 years later. I'm super proud of what we did. We have actually been Salon Today Top 200 for 8 years. And again, I'm not telling you that because I'm patting myself on the back. I'm patting on the back the systems, philosophy, and product and culture that was built and fostered and maintained by Euphora. So I owe a debt of gratitude to Don. I used to say to him all the time, thank you for taking this, old young person, I always said, because I was like a baby at that point, even though I was, seasoned. I was like a baby because I just never had anybody show me the right way to do things. And he'd say, Tam, I tell thousands of people what to do. You just did it. And I'm going to tell you the same thing. Like I have had the opportunity over the years to tell thousands of people what to do. I'm going to tell you the sad statistic, about 5% of people do what they need to do. And that is, to me, it's powerful and sad all in the same vein. I'm sure Michael and Tina would agree that you're out there telling salons, how they can do better business. Does everybody do it?
No.
Yeah. Do most of them do it? Be honest. Maybe because he's fabulous. Like him and I have chatted this week, and I already knew that he was a great representative, but most of them don't.
They don't. And what I have found really in working with you for everything that Tamara's saying is spot on. And I find that it creates a culture within the salon. I feel like I know each of you are in different places, so to speak. I know Amy's brand new to Euphora. For me, when I look at what's being presented here, I mean, this is awesome information.
Good.
When they approached me, Euphora, and said, we're going to bring Tamara into your market, we want her to come to one of your salons, I thought, okay, let's do this. As an example, and there's two ladies here that unfortunately texted me this morning, and they were doing everything they could to get here.
Understood.
One of them comes from Ohio, so she had met Don Bewley, and she's young.
Aww.
She'll be 28 next week.
I would have loved, because there's something special. The day he passed, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to share this, and then we're heading back to you. I said, I was devastated, but I said, I am so sad for us that was mentored by him and knew him. I'm sadder for people who never met him, because he was a special, special person. So I would have loved to have met her.
But she knew, really, from that moment on, and she lived in Ohio. She's only been in Oklahoma about 4 years now, but she knew that passion and what he presented to her was something that she wanted to be a part of. And to say that is one thing, but then to follow through is another. And the other lady that couldn't be here, Michelle, she's probably mid to late 50s, and she's been doing hair for 35 years. But she didn't get involved with Euphora until about a year ago or so, and really it was something that I brought to her, just telling her, and it was a class very much like this, done through another Euphora educator. It was in Missouri. She had a bit of a drive. The ticket was like $50, probably cost her more in gas to get there and back. But my whole message was, it's just something you wanted to see. As long as I've known you, I know this is something you want to see. So she went, and again, she's now followed through. And following through, could be different for everybody. I think everything's going to work in stages. For her, she doesn't necessarily have as many tie downs, so to speak, at her age. So for her to say, oh my gosh, Vision Quest is coming up in 4 months, I'm going to go. I mean, she made it a point to go. She made it a point to go to Global this year. For me, the suggestion would be to everybody here, set goals for yourself in that regard, and know that these are steps that will help you grow, they'll help you get better, they'll help you be better salon owners. I mean, I'm here for you, Amy, 100%. And I feel like the information you get here, break it down to where you can share that with your girls. And bringing the education to the salons is something we will do. It's just a matter of knowing that we have people in play, and we want them all to be on the same page. And All I ask is, let me know. I know you're gonna be talking with Lisa, I know you'll go back and you'll talk with your girls, hey, is this something we really wanna focus on, because I think it's time? And we'll keep the ball rolling and the excitement going.
And I feel like it's about leveling up. Like, good, there's a book called Good is the Enemy of Great. And I love that, because doing good is good. But what do we want for ourselves? Do we want to level up? I mean, I want to be great at what I do, but I don't want to be greater than Amy. I don't want to be greater than Leslie. I don't want to be greater than Emily. I don't want to be greater than Sylvia. I want to be greater. I want to be greater than I was yesterday, period. And I want us all to be greater than we were yesterday. So to have a company like Euphora and to have somebody like, you know, these two, SSG, creating that support system, because we all need that. Because truthfully, we're human beings. I love educating because it keeps me on track completely. Because it's easy to fall off. It's easy, really easy. And my natural propensity is to fall off. We talked about this yesterday. However, I'm also an integral person, so I know if I'm coming to Oklahoma and next month I'm going to New York, and I have my team behind me, and I have all my stylists and my clients and stuff, I can't afford to fall off. Like, you guys are holding me responsible. I've never met you before, but trust me, like, for the past 15 years, I've been doing whatever I've been doing, so I can come and tell you honestly, like, this is what I do, and this is what I teach people to do. And some people do it, and some people don't do it. But I can tell you the people that do it change their lives. It changes their lives. It changes their financial lives. It changes their clients' lives. It changes their house lives. It changes their owner's life. It changes life. And to do it as a team is exceptionally rewarding. And to do it with players that are willing to step up when we fall back is phenomenal, because we all fall back. We're honest. And like Dawn told me, Tam, you just did it. That's the difference. You chose. Thank you, ladies. I hope that this was beneficial to you. Would you mind if I just ask you if you know what you got from today, or if there's something that you're going to change? Would you mind if I go around and just kind of touch base at the end?
I think I usually put myself in their wallet, and I'm always like, I don't want them to feel like I'm pushing them to buy something,
Right.
even though I know it would benefit them. So I think I'm going to start kind of pushing them.
So do you feel that you have, now do you, and trust me,
Yeah.
I've been there. I told you my average retail per client was 63 cents. Like that happens by accident. That does happen by accident. How do you think, like, you think you'll have a different conversation? You think you just switch something in your head? Where do you think you can go with that?
I word it, because I'm normally like, because we tend to retail more Kevin Murphy because
Yep.
people know it.
Yep,
So I can sell Kevin Murphy like,
all day long.
I mean, I sold probably like $700 worth of Kevin Murphy last month,
That's awesome.
which is good.
Right.
But I've been wanting to retail this, but nobody knows about it, and then I didn't know too much about it.
Interesting, okay.
So I'm kind of more like gonna push. Euphora.
Well, they are going to believe your belief and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So the more you know, the more you love it, the more you use it, you're just like, hey, you know what? I know you've been using this, or, you know, you haven't been using a professional product. This is what happened to me. Like,
Yeah.
people like connection. Like, that is, if I stood before you making stuff up, like, I think hairstylists and estheticians are so brilliant on, like, do you not believe that I walk my walk and talk my talk? Like,
Yeah.
there's no way you're sitting there going, this lady, well, maybe you are, I shouldn't assume. This lady's not full of crap. Like, she does this, right? So they will believe your enthusiasm. So I appreciate that, and I wish you all the best. And truthfully, if you need anything, they're here for you. And if you need to find me, I'm there for you too.
Yeah.
Okay, Leslie, you have a unique situation where you're in a skincare room and you're using product lines that you probably love and believe in. So is there anything that you got that you feel like you can apply?
Oh, for sure. I think where I got is just having, like, just reaching out more often to my mentors.
Nice.
And to, other people in the
Nice.
industry. But also, like, just, I'm such a goal person. Like, I have to write it down, white paper, blue pen, like, love that.
You're my kind of girl.
And so I just need to
She brings up a good point. Do you know that 85% of people don't even have goals? 85% of people don't even have goals. Maybe 15% will write them down. So that's more powerful. Writing them down is powerful, but there's something else that's more powerful. 1% of people will check them, see if they're accomplishing them, and adjust them if they're not working. I have a feeling you're that 1%er. Yeah, I have a feeling you don't just write them down and let them like gather dust. So writing goals down is unreal. Like, it changes everything. That's why even yesterday in the numbers class, we talk about setting goals. You have to write it down. And I love that you said white paper with a blue pen, because I'm white paper with a pencil.
Oh, really?
I could not tell you why, but things stick in my head and they mean more to me with a pencil. I don't know why.
There's a psychological aspect to the blue.
Is that right? Maybe I should start with a blue pen. Yeah. That's super cool. But for me, it's a pencil. I don't know. I never knew that. But thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Emily, what is there anything that resonated with you? Just because I'm standing over you, don't feel pressure.
Definitely trying to feel more comfortable talking about products and everything. From sitting here listening to you talk, I want to read more about the hair products that we have, just so I'm more informed. Because people do come in.
Oh, I agree.
Someone's not up here, I'm here. I want to be able to give them that information that they're looking for.
I'm just smiling really big. You guys can't see this, but I'm smiling really big because it's the absolute truth. Like, cross promotion is so powerful, when in turn, you guys should know what's going on in that room too. Yeah. In fact, we did a product knowledge class at my salon. It was so fun. We did our skincare and obviously Euphora, and we made like a Family Feud thing. Like, I had the button in the middle and we pitted people against each other, and I'd ask a question and they'd have to ring the bell and answer, and if they answered wrong, I had a big pile of like props, like Viking ears and wigs and stuff. If they answered wrong, they had to put it on, and if they answered right, they got to move to the next round. So by the end of the night, what ended up happening is a lot of people had a lot of stuff on, right? Because they got a lot of stuff wrong, they got a lot of stuff right. But we found out, and you two will be happy to know this, our esthetician knew more about our product line than we knew about hers. I thought it taught us a lot that night. We're like, ooh, that's not cool. I mean, it was cool because we realized something, and we realized that she is, a chick that was on the ball. So that's why I was smiling really big, because I'm like, yeah, this is powerful. We need to know each other's stuff so that you guys can speak to it, because what happens is the more likely the client gets services, multiple services, the more likely they are to stay in our house. So that's cool. Thank you for sharing that. Sylvia.
Well, being a new stylist, like fresh out of school, it's been very scary to kind of like think out the box, and I'm like in this little bubble and in my comfort zone, and so I learned to just kind of be more creative, and that thing when you said we talk people out of loving their hair. I do that, but in my head, like I don't actually tell them, like, oh my gosh, maybe I should have done this, but I say that a lot in my head. I'm like, oh my god, maybe I should have done this, maybe I shouldn't have, maybe, and so just being more confident and just really accepting the fact that we all make mistakes and we have to learn from them. So that's what I got from that.
May I add two things to that?
Yeah.
Because it's exciting to me. First of all, a newbie. We lose too many newbies in this business because they don't have mentors. They don't understand that their taste is here and their skill set's here, and they don't know what lies in between. And we lose them in this space that you're seeing. In reality, what should end up happening, and you're on the path, is you level up, level up, level up, level up, till your taste meets your skill set. And once your taste meets your skill set, your confidence grows. But in the meantime, you have to know that space exists. You have to fill it. And you also have to know you can only do what you can do with the knowledge that you have and the skill set that you have. Yeah. And as long as you're advancing it, you're doing great. Now, there's another part I have to add to that. It's okay to analyze what we do, because I've been doing hair a long time, and there's not a head of hair that walks out the door of my salon that I'm not thinking, okay, like, that was good. I really liked how I rounded out the back. I should have put a couple more layers in the front. Maybe next time I'll try a bang. Oh, should I put more gold into her hair? That's healthy. So find that space in between feeling like, oh, I'm obsessing about it, or I'm staying awake at night, and analyzing it, because what you're doing at that point, like, our brain's like a computer. You're putting information into the computer saying, next time I'll go shorter, next time I'll stay longer, that should have been rounded, that was too square. You know, all those things of analyzing, just make sure it doesn't go into criticizing. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And that's fine. That's healthy. I still do it. And I think that makes us better. So those are the two things I had to add to you. Is that helpful?
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you.
Amy.
I am gonna start using the client consultation
Good.
cards.
Good.
Since I'm brand new to Euphora and my salon is a green salon, I really want to promote green products.
Right.
Yes, I know a lot of product knowledge about other lines, but I feel like I don't know a lot about Euphora. I want to know, like you're talking about mixing the gel with the shine and
You can mix that gel with anything, I'm here to tell you. Like, that's my catalyst. Like, the straightening balm and the gel straightening balm is the bomb. Like, it's so nice when you mix it together. Goes through the hair, the viscosity, it's just soft and it's beautiful, and it has anti-humectant, so it keeps it nice and smooth. So you can mix it with anything.
yeah, definitely. And obviously to increase product sales, because
Like you said.
I'm a brand new salon, so I'm like, that would help pay some rent. you know?
Right.
And I'm definitely going to take this and make copies and give it to my stylist.
And practicing, I'm telling you, have a meeting, and you guys do the same thing. It is so awkward to role play, but like if we had more time or we had all day, I would have you guys match up. I'd have you role play, because people go, oh, that's so weird. It's weird. But guess what? Practicing what to say and having a script of sorts is a natural thing. So if we're not going to say it to each other in a really safe area, we're never going to say it to a client, because come on, we're not going to make ourselves look stupid. But what ends up happening is people think, I can't do this. But when they role play, all of a sudden they realize, I can do this, I just need more product knowledge. Because where I'm stumbling, like if Amy and I are role playing and I'm going, where I'm stumbling trying, role playing with Amy is that I don't think I know enough, so I won't say anything. So all of a sudden now I know of a path of how to be more successful. Or Amy might say to me like, ooh, maybe I should be suggesting this and that. So it becomes apparent when you're in a safe environment, like think about a Broadway play. I had a friend that went to see The King and I. Does anybody know The King and I? It was a beautiful, beautiful play. It's kind of an older play. Yul Brynner has since passed, but he was an amazing actor. And he did this play 3,000 times on Broadway. 3,000 times. And my friend was in New York, and he saw this big sign, and it said, Yul Brynner in The King and I 3,000 times. And my friend immediately went, can he be any good after 3,000 times? Like, how, like he's oh yeah, I'm the king. Is he calling it in, phoning it in? So he went in, and Yul Brynner was you guys don't know who he is, feel free to look him. He's a very powerful actor. He was actually bald, and he was born to play the king in this play. My friend said, I was blown away. Like I felt like I was there, and it's set in I think Thailand or something, and he felt like I was there. And he goes, this guy has done this play on stage 3,000 times, possibly practiced it maybe 6,000, thank you, Amy, probably 6,000 times, and it felt like it was the first time he was ever saying it. It felt like he was a king, and the stage was Thailand, and that's how good we have to be. If we want to have the successes that we want to have, that's how good we have to be. That same mentor told me, amateurs do it to get it right. Professionals do it till they can't get it wrong. Does that sound familiar? So amateurs do it to get it right. Professionals do it so they can't get it wrong. And that's what somebody like Yul Brynner was doing. So he made sure that he knew that play inside and out. And it's okay to have like even today, my demeanor. Like if you all went to lunch with me right now, I don't talk like this at lunch. I don't lean in. I don't do this kind of stuff at lunch. That would be weird. But it'd also be weird if I didn't do it when I'm excited about something and presenting something. It'd be weirder, right? Yeah. It is authentic, but we have to engage. We have to engage our clients. Hopefully you've been engaged. I do a lot of assumptions today, aren't I? I'm doing a lot of assumptions. So that's not weird to have a script. It's not weird to to talk to your client. It's not weird to recommend. None of it's weird. It's in our heads. It's a story we tell ourselves. When in reality, they're expecting it. They're expecting it. And this, to me, is the magic numbers. Too funny. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, I'm kind of sad I'm leaving today. I want to keep going. Can't we keep going on the world tour? The World Oklahoma Tour? Welcome back. How's that? I'll come back sometime.
I'm gonna join you guys for lunch just because I goes in and out. So.
Awesome.
And Lisa had some questions.
I won't do
called
this.
her. That's okay. If you want to, you can.
Hey, I always am who I am. Don't let me fool you. But I do enjoy educating. It's my favorite thing to do, whether I'm educating my client behind the chair or my team or I get to go travel. It's just, to me, it's the best part about getting older. It's the only good part, is to be able to share. Like I said, I just had a big birthday, and I said, I think I'm gonna deal with this birthday by just spreading advice like glitter. I'm just gonna throw it around. So there you go. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.